Dennis. Yeah, I'm Andy Penman, for those that haven't met, from DisplayNote Technologies. I may also be the guy that got only shot 5 clays out of 40 clays at clay pigeon shooting yesterday, but I'm a left-hander and they gave me a right-handed gun. So I felt they could have got more out of me. Disappointing. But yeah, so yeah, Andy from DisplayNote Technologies. I'm going to do a quick introduction over the next 20 minutes of a new product we've got called Montage, which some of you may have seen in its earlier iterations and be aware of. Some of you may not have seen it at all. So I'll give you a nice kind of broad introduction of exactly what we're doing and what we're aiming at with this product. And then, as Dennis said, we've got guys out there in the exhibition hall and the Clever Touch Village that are there for deep dive investigations around this. If you want to go and connect and share your content and really get into the nuts and bolts of that, we've got that going on out there as well. But DisplayNote Technologies, we are a software company, and we produce products all around innovation, around collaboration. So we're really, at a high level, we're really interested in how it is that we can help people work more productively and more effectively in their workspace. Montage is aimed at the workspace for corporates, enterprises, so we're talking boardrooms, huddle spaces, anywhere where groups of adults are getting together to work together using devices, and we're really interested in how they collaborate and how they actually do that, so I'll talk more about that in a moment. If you're not aware of our company, we are based in Belfast. That's where the majority of our sales and marketing team sit. We have some developers over there as well. We have a big office also in Spain, and that's where a lot of the development's done. So that's a quick introduction to our team. We have Johnny and Paul, our CEO, also out there as well, so you can meet some of those guys if you haven't met them yet. So to get straight into the product, because I'm aware we don't have too much time, what we did with Montage, which is this little black box sat in front here, if you can't see it, again we've got boxes out there you can touch and feel and look at the inputs and outputs and really get your nose in there. It's this little box that we have on the desk there. What we aim to do was bring our collaboration expertise to the wireless presentation arena. So we looked at what was out there, and we looked at how people were looking as a baseline to connect devices, iPads, PCs, iPhone, Android devices, connect and present on a screen. And we were looking at those solutions and seeing that's pretty much where they ended. It was all about getting this up here so I could stand here and present to you as my audience. And what we wanted to do was take it beyond that. We wanted to get more of that group, that meeting room up here, whether they were physically there or whether they're connecting in remotely. And once you're up here sharing your content, we want you to be able to do more with that. So a couple of our big USPs that I'll get straight into, a couple of our big hooks for this, are when you're sharing with Montage, we share up this way onto the screen, but we'll also share back to the devices within that Montage. So if you're on the screen, you can push your device, you can receive the devices as well, as I'll show and illustrate as we go through. That's number one. Number two, a big thing is remote connectivity. So to illustrate that this morning, if you've got internet into the box, you can actually offer out a meeting ID, and I'll talk about how this connects up in a moment, but all I've done is offered a meeting ID to my colleague in Belfast, and we've actually got Chris dialed in as well. This is Chris's laptop sat in Belfast. He's going to share his camera very quickly and give us a quick hello. So through Montage we can connect in remotely, you can share your video and your voice to aid that, but we can collaborate on Chris's content, which is the real focus of what we're going to do. And we'll get into Chris's laptop in a minute and do some collaboration to show you exactly what I mean. But those are a couple of our big points. So just to cover off the network and security side of this, we understand that when we talk wireless presentation and sharing content, and when you go to big corporates, and we've introduced this to the likes of Facebook, there's some really big kind of end users, network and security is top agenda. You've got to get past that IT guy. So to help you guys out with that, our development team have produced a couple of white papers that I'll talk about briefly, one on the network side, one on the security side, that will really help you get past those gatekeepers when you're looking to introduce this. So rather than that door shutting straight away and the network guy going, no chance, these will actually explain exactly how versatile this device can be on a network. So to give you an idea of what's happening here, the Montage box is running a Linux kiosk with our software on there. And all that means is when we switch it on, it offers us out a meeting ID, that's the first screen you meet. and it offers us a few options in terms of how we're going to connect. Connectivity into the box looks like this. You can either hardwire that box, which is what we've got happening today. The box, as of the last release, will actually also wirelessly connect to a network too. That's important for corporate networks that want to offer their own end users on the corporate network side connectivity, but also have those guest networks come in, that they give credentials for the guest network. We can have that happening at the same time, so there's dual capacity around that. And the box also has the ability to offer its own access points as well, so you can just connect directly to that, isolated from any network. But there's more information on those white papers. I won't dive in too much into that. If you want to ask us on that, we can handle those questions afterwards. But a little idea of what's happening here. So we've got internet into the box, and that's how we can bring Chris in. So we've got a couple of devices connected here. On my iPad, I'm connected via AirPlay. Most people are familiar with AirPlay, basic protocol for sharing an iOS device. I've got an app running here to connect in here. We can run a web client as well that gives you the same amount of control and connectivity. And I'll talk you through some of those as and when we kind of jump in and use them. One of our differentials straight off the bat is how we work with touchscreens. So we are a partner with Sahara. The Montage box in the UK is actually exclusive through them. So for us, it's made sense to have our user interface speak really nicely with touch. So if we've got a lovely touch screen like this, which we're seeing more and more in the corporate environment, it makes sense that Montage is another reason to use your touch screen. So we've built the user interface to be very simple, very tangible, very easy to manipulate. So if I'm stood at the front and I'm controlling the presentation, I've got the ability to scroll through the inputs, the devices that have been shared through Montage. I can look at those live. I can drag down, we can see 2 at a time, 3 at a time, 4 at a time, all the way to 6 on one screen. If the network's good enough and the PCs are decent enough, you could feasibly have as many as 12 devices connected and working within a Montage meeting. So this is the user interface. People really like this. At shows, we spend a lot of time doing this as people walk by just to grab their attention. If you push an iPad into active screen, the others just sit off here. And this just shows how simple it is, rather than passing a cable around, how simple it is for me to bring people in and introduce them into what we call the active screen, which means they're just basically taking up the screen. So that's kind of one of our unique propositions, just how nicely it works with touch as we push off here. But the nice thing is, breaking past that, if you don't have a presenter at the center, each participant can actually push themselves up into active display. So I'm running the app on my device here. I can push my screen using my app into active display. Chris, if you can hear me okay, can you push your device into active display? So Chris has the same application running his end. He's hit become active display. He can start sharing his screen as and when he feels he needs to. One of the nice kind of synergies with Montage and touch is when there is a PC in active display, we've built in PC control. So this is not my laptop. This laptop is in Belfast. It's not a little trick, and Chris is just behind here. He is genuinely in Belfast. I can actually control his display via PC control. So it passes through mouse control. He says. You just hit minimize there. Yeah, there we go. Slightly slow just because of the remote connection. But I can actually, I can drive his PC, double click on things, open them up, and that's useful in a number of ways. One being, if my PC is at the back of the boardroom and I want to leave that device and come and operate the touchscreen that we've invested money in, I can walk up and I can use it from here. Or if we're remote, like Chris is here, I can have him on the other end and I can drive his PC. He does have the ability within the app to hit pause if he doesn't want me doing that. It is a bit kind of unnerving as the guy that's normally remotely connected into our sessions. If you want to check an email or not have someone jump on your mouse and take control, you can hit pause and do that. But remote PC control is kind of another way that we've synced in with touch, and we realise more and more touch is going into the environments where we want to see Montage. So it makes sense that it works nicely that way. So that's touch capacity. One of the things I mentioned at the start, the two-way nature of Montage, is normally at a trade show, one of the first things I'll jump on to explain why this is different to wireless presentation solutions that are currently out there. Most people are aware of wireless presentation. They've come across in our media, we present, Barcode Click Share, there's a lot of them. So for my job, it's really important that I differentiate why this is different. And we spend a lot of time talking about collaboration. And this is what we mean by that. When you grab a device in active display, as you've seen me do already, you have the ability for each end user, come over here, to click on a button called Receive Active Display. I can receive that back on my device, whether I'm remote or in the room. So immediately that changes me up from being a passive observer of a presentation, with me just presenting to you. Now I have it on my device, I can save that, and I have the ability to annotate on there. Chris can annotate on his side, but everyone can be on the same page. So the presentation is iPad to montage up on the screen. That's where everyone else stops. We share it back to the devices so we can do more on that content. And that's really what we mean by collaboration. That's one of the real kind of key points for us. That's Chris kind of annotating from his end. So he can see essentially what you're seeing on this laptop. So I can save, I can annotate, and I can be part of that presentation. I can ask questions, I can query things, and we're going to get to the bottom, the nub of what that meeting is about. So that's part of the reason we talk about collaboration a lot with that. Rather than calling it a wireless presentation solution, you'll hear us call this montage for meetings. It's a meeting collaboration solution. And that's one of our key features.
Can I just ask?
Please do.
Forget that this is an iPad now. Say this is your colleague's PC and he's got a Word document or some other document that we're all looking at together.
Yeah.
So he pushes it up to the screen, or you grab it onto the screen, and everybody can see it on their devices. But apart from annotating, we're not actually working on the document.
Editing the native document.
No, we're not, are we?
No.
Okay, so it's
No.
like DisplayNote, we're just
And it's a
annotating
layer
over
on
the
top.
layer on top.
It is, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
The only place from which you can actually interact with the real document itself is from the main screen
Yeah.
over here, is that correct?
Exactly. So having PC control, I can go into these slides, I can edit them and work natively.
Okay.
I'll also show you towards the end of the demo file share. So we can offer that file out, so you can actually jump on there and make changes.
The
within
native
that.
file or the annotated
The
layer?
native file. Yeah. You could save the annotated layer on there as well as a file, which it lets you do, and you could share that out as well. File share basically share anything from your desktop. So I'll show you that in a moment. And that kind of ties some of that up. But I know what you mean. Can we co-edit?
Yeah.
And that's an area we're interested in, and we do have development around that. So that might be worth talking to you about.
Swoodle.
You did that with Swoodle.
That's correct.
Doing,
Yeah.
but that never that kind
That's-
of stopped.
that's-
That kind of left hanging, was it?
It hasn't stopped.
Hasn't
It's
stopped?
no, it's being developed into. It's on our roadmap without saying too much.
Okay.
That development of that idea is a real kind of people really responded well to that. You've seen that yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you can co-edit the document,
That's right.
and we think there's a thirst for that, and there is some development around that.
That's what I perceive as real
Collaboration, yeah.
Not just simply
Absolutely.
putting my points.
The key with this is you have different devices coming in. It could be Android, iPad. So not everyone's going to be able to open content within the same thing. So this is groups of young millennials coming in often. This is why this has been quite popular at higher ed for huddle spaces, bringing out their devices, being able to share it, and then being able to ink over the top of that. That gives us that level of collaboration, which goes a little further than what we're seeing. But yeah, I see what you're talking.
Will you be covering montage light in this session?
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
Got a little bit on that.
Super.
So I've got a couple of things to come back to.
No problems.
Yeah.
Sorry, you talked about connecting the iPad. Can you also connect Android tablets, therefore?
Yeah, at the moment we're using Miracast,
Okay.
which is quite a limited protocol.
Yeah.
We don't particularly like it, but we support it. It only lets you do one device at a time, one Miracast, one Android device. But we do have other ways of tackling that, again in future roadmaps too. So this is, it's an early days product. There's things that we're looking to develop around that speak to some of your points. But we can talk more on that afterwards if you're interested. Very good. So yeah, where do we get to? So yeah, if I'm so just to hammer home that point on collaboration, if I push my device that you see here into active screen, that is now freely there for anyone else to receive that. So Chris, if you receive that active display, we can do things like share. And I'm inking here, so we've got ink from the screen here as well. So if I'm inking here and asking questions, Chris can obviously receive that and add his own ink on there as well. As part of the next step to that, and this has been quite popular in corporate, we have built in default here what we've called our collaborative whiteboard, just a blank space that people can receive on their active display. So Chris could see that there. We've got inking from the front. We've got inking from the device. So each of us, if we just did a quick brainstorm, just very simple scenario, Chris could add to that, I could add to that from here as well. We get this idea that we are all on the same page. So collaborative inking, everyone being in the same environment, being able to chuck up from there, take that save, take that home.
Can Chris cancel your thing because he thinks that was a really bad idea?
Yeah.
Can he edit what
Absolutely.
somebody else done?
Yeah. So everyone's got the same level of control.
Okay.
So that's one of the things we've kind of done differently. There's no passing of the control. If you're in here, you are a collaborator. So you do have all the benefits that I do. There's no blocker in the sense that I have to pass you control and wait for that to happen. He can just get amongst that and work with me on that. Yes?
Andy, obviously different colors popped up on screen. Are you designated a priority color and Chris would have another color? And
yeah, and you can change them as well. Very, very simple annotation. We kept that very light for now.
Right.
Just so it's kind of very simple to use, not too confusing. We realise asking people or promoting the fact that you can go beyond wireless presentation is a bit of an education step. When you show people this, they do get excited about that and they see the relevance. I mean, why wouldn't you, if you're working in a small group, why wouldn't that be good to have that come back to you and be able to annotate and save? But we have kept that very, very simple for now, just so it's not too drastic a learning curve. To talk to the point here, I'll talk to you a little about file share. If you're in the meeting, obviously we've talked about collaboration a lot and sharing. If you are working on a file together, whether it's an annotated file or whether I've shown you a PowerPoint that you require back, we've built in file share within Montage. So you don't have to wait to the end of the meeting to email a file separately. As part of the workflow of using Montage, you can share a file through. So if you notice on here, Chris is obviously heard me saying this, he's going to grab a file from his device and he's going to click on that. That will become freely downloadable for anyone in the Montage. We'll accept that and that will drop down. So this is just our spec sheet. That will drop down and open on our device. So this is useful in a few ways. At the start of a session, you want to make sure everyone's on the same file. You can send that through. Everyone's got the same file, the same baseline. Or at the end of a session, it might be useful to say, okay, here are the resources coming back to you. Ping, there it's gone. I don't have to go and action another email to do that. And that all speaks within our collaboration message around the product. So yeah, just to cover a few points off. Simon mentioned there the Montage Mini. Obviously our partnership with Sahara, as I mentioned, the Montage box in the UK is exclusive within that network. A couple of points around that. I am a resource. I'm back in the UK. I was covering the US predominantly before. Now I'm focused on getting the product out here in the UK. I am a resource for resellers in the UK that want to get that product in front of people. I've done a lot of pre-sales and worked with a lot of resellers so far. So I'll exchange details for anyone that's interested in the product and getting that level of activity working for them.
Andy, just a quick one.
Yeah.
These are all export people in this room.
Oh, okay.
So you might want to just, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
That's a good point. Yeah, yeah.
It's a good
Sorry.
point. I thought I'd bring it up.
I didn't realise that. Yeah, absolutely. My fault.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Montage Mini with the Clever Touch Pro with the Android backend. There is an app that will run Montage for you, and you can connect up to 4 screens on there. So it's a kind of lighter version, as Simon mentioned there. It's a lighter version of the box, but it's built into the display. So you've already seen some of the synergy with the product. It's a great solution, the Montage box and the screen. With the Clever Touch Pro, you have it there in there for up to 4 screens. It's in-room only connectivity, but it will give you that device sharing. Be able to get that appetite for that within there. So it's dead easy to use. Just an app that you can go straight to. But it's in there ready to roll.
You need to connect to the montage mate, you need to have something downloaded onto your PC.
Yeah, so for the clients on their end, if you're just using something like an iOS device, you can use AirPlay, which is the iOS device's own protocol, nothing to download there. That's me coming into a session not expecting to use this. I can go from there. We do have the app, our Montage app, which is fully downloadable free, or you can use the web client as well, which is just joinmontage.com. And you meet that when you first come to the interface. Oops. You get instructions around that as you go from there. Yeah. Use Chrome currently, yeah. And that will get you connected on there. So that's if you've got the Montage, if you've got the Clever Touch Pro, that's what we call Montage Mini. That's already there within that Android setup. And then this is kind of what the box will do over and above that, more connectivity and remote connectivity as well.
So what happens if I've got a meeting and I've got an external person coming into my meeting? We want to discuss it. He's obliged to download something onto his.
He either needs the app or the web client,
Okay.
and he needs the meeting ID.
Okay, so with web client, but okay, he needs to have Chrome though.
Yeah, he does need to be running Chrome.
Okay, so he
basically.
doesn't have Chrome.
First he has to download the Chrome.
Yeah. We are adding other web browser support, but right now, yeah, it's Chrome, or you just go and download the app, which is what Chris has done essentially on his end, with that meeting space there. So yeah, just to kind of wrap up, those are kind of some of the key points. You know, we've got Montage user face that's working with touch, as you've seen, so it really does lend itself nicely to this kind of product here that we're seeing more and more in corporate. It's the two-way connectivity for collaboration, not just sharing this way, but sharing it back also. And then with the box as well, the remote connectivity and being able to bring in other members of your team that might be disparately, geographically located. But yeah, collaboration is the magic word around that, adding that section to what we'd already seen in Wireless presentation. So yeah, hopefully that gives you a bit of an introduction if you haven't seen the product, or a bit of a refresher if you've seen it, but want to come and see what's new. Yeah, if you want to come and spend some time with us on our stand and really poke around this and get involved, we've got some time out there and plenty of resources for you to be able to do that. But that's probably just about my time, so I'll step to one side and I'll let the other guys take over.
Alright guys, welcome to the second part of the session. It's focused on Snowflake Multi-Teach, which is bundled with every Clever Touch V series plus series. Okay, so what we've got here is the latest version, Snowflake 5.0, and what we're going to do is show you the new enhancements that we've done to this particular version. We're then going to take a look at the community page and get a refresher about where the teachers can download these free lessons that they've made. We'll then go back and look at the new lessons cloud that's coming in the vet show. That's the goal, so January next year. So there's three main things we want to cover. I really advise you, if you can, to come out to the hall and get a hands-on experience and questions. That's where you can really drill down and get a lot more information, that kind of thing. So if we'll take a look at some of the new apps that we've done in version 5.0. Now the first one we'll look at is the Media app. So this used to be called Presenter. We've now changed it to Media. And based on feedback, the teachers wanted something that was easier to organise into files for their instructional lessons of the day. So we've created a new interface where you can, say the night before or something where you're planning, the teachers can drag media, drag their content into each project, name it, and then the next day they can easily deploy that content. So it's just a lot more kind of organised for the teachers as it was in the past. It was more free flow. But you can easily, as I said before, you can take a project, you can name it, as Johan's doing now. You can import your content, PDF, image, video, PowerPoint, either from your PC, from a USB, or link to Dropbox. And there it is there. You can then deploy this out. and you can actually, depending on what you put out, you can give quite a nice linear sliding presentation once you hit full screen. So that's some new features that were based on feedback from you guys, from what the teachers wanted. So we've built this into media, and what we need from you is more feedback, how to make this better. So this is the first version. This is also in our business version as well, so we're kind of looking at ways where we cross over the different apps. So again, here you could do your presentations, the teacher can create the content for the lesson, and also children can easily upload content via USB into their own project to give a show and tell presentation. So
you've taken away the circle, the square,
there's a few of those up the top. They've got like a horizontal view, or a grid view, but yes, you're right. So it's more of a collaborative working space as opposed to a place where you're viewing things. So you can also annotate, you can save. You can change the background. For example, you might be at an exhibition and you've got this media player. You can reskin the license, the background for your logo with your content, etc. So that's kind of the big thing that we've been doing with media. So as I said, we need your feedback to improve it, things like that.
You have create folders in this media or not? You just said children come in with their homework assignments.
Yeah.
You load all the media.
Yeah. So you got it there.
The project.
Yeah.
So
Project. It's
the
called a project
is
name.
one of the children.
Exactly.
Excellent.
So that's one of the big things. So yeah, again, come over to the other hall and we can go through this with you. The next thing is we've built a new corner menu, because a lot of the icons were a little, confusing, etc. So the feedback was, can you make it simpler? So we've developed that. We've had some good feedback as well from that. So that was another thing. Over the last 6 to 8 months, we've been working on a brand new browser. So we've built that into the business license and also multi-teach. So now you can easily access YouTube, GDocs, teacher K-12 teaching websites within multi-teach. So you don't need to leave
You couldn't
that.
see YouTube before. YouTube
No.
was before, was it?
So obviously you've got the school's internet filters, etc. But we've also added bookmarks. So the teacher can easily save the most visited sites, your GDocs, etc., and bring that in as for example, in zones, you could be teaching on one side a topic on the mountain, and on the other side there could be a lesson supporting that. So using the full canvas of the screen. So that that was a big project for us. Again, it's something that the teachers have been asking for to have in this license. So we've got that now.
I mean, is it available now?
Yes, it's 5.0. Yeah, available now.
Just to confirm, Dennis, how many licenses do you get with each Clever Touch screen if you buy a screen?
You buy, you get 5 activations per screen.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's just worth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And we know, but we forget to talk
Yeah,
about.
no, you're dead right. That's another added value that you guys get. We also have translation support, so we're working through the different countries with the translations. So it's ongoing, and the export division is very important for Sahara, so we're working very closely with Simon and Jack, making sure that your feedback gets pushed into the product. So yeah.
Can I just ask you, how do you find those 5 licenses reused within schools? Do they then put them up on, do they give them to the teachers?
Yeah, so it'd be a teacher
PCs,
laptop,
or do they,
a home laptop, a teaching assistant device.
just for them to
Yeah.
learn and become familiar with it? Because
That's
it's not something
right.
that you would use to prepare, you would prepare the lessons.
You prepare the lessons, yeah, that's right.
And those lessons, can you then save them and bring them into your, say it's on a different PC format you're then teaching on? Can you do that?
Prepare it at home.
Yeah.
Deactivate.
Have the screen, but the
Yeah,
screen has already
yeah.
got a PC blade in it, so I need to transfer it.
You're gonna love the next step with the cloud, so,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
No, they're doing it Google Drive.
That's the next step as well, so that's a lot of, had another group in there, OneDrive integration, so,
Media has support for Dropbox,
Dropbox.
as of right now,
Yeah.
and we're looking at adding more
Yeah.
cloud-based
Yeah.
storage.
Still, we had a lot of troubles when you put your license code in your online
In your license management system, yeah.
It always is only guilty for
No,
14
so
days or so. Something is wrong with the dates.
no, we give you every time someone goes in, you get a 2-week license, so people can try the license out.
Yeah.
So that's what that is. Then if you redeem your code, you'll get another slot. I can show you on the screen
Yeah,
over
there's-
here if you
there's
want.
a
It's
So-
problem with-
confusing
Yeah, yeah,
to-
it's-
to people
Well, that's the thing. Do we
first
want it? Do
time.
we want people to have a 2-week license? That's the
Or-
other
or
thing.
if
Shall
you
we
give them a message
take it
because
off or something? I
What
don't
they
know.
think is, well, I put in my license code and it's only given me 30 days, and
Then I
then
have
they
to pay.
call us up and say,
Yeah.
what the heck is this all about? You know?
Yeah,
So
It's,
if
might
at
be a
least
better way to
message
manage
could
it.
appear
Yeah,
to say,
if you actually redeem your code during the registration, you won't get the
2 weeks.
the trial licenses. They will just not
Yeah.
be created.
Correct.
But most people go halfway through registration and then they stop, which means that when they log in the first time, there are no licenses at all. So they get 2 trial licenses. But if they would do the entire registration, they won't have the temp ones. They will have only the 5 permanent ones per code.
yeah. But yeah, there's probably a better way to do it. You know, it's just UI and thinking about it in easier way.
So it's one code for 5 activations.
That's right. So you'll get 5 slots.
Okay, so
Available
can
slots.
you deregister a device?
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
So you've always got the 5. So if I'm a teacher and I'm leaving the school, for example,
Yeah.
deactivate mine, and your
Yes.
server knows there's one activation left against that code.
Yeah, you just drag it down to the red bar.
The new license system is entirely cloud-based, so
Okay.
for an IT manager, he can just log into the account page
Yeah.
with his credentials and find the teacher that's leaving, click on that box,
Okay.
log out, and then that
What
slot
about-
will be available
okay.
again.
What about MSI? I mean, can you, if you're rolling it out over 200 screens, for example, have you got a?
Yeah, we have an
solve for that?
MSI,
Yeah.
and there's also, we have created so you can write a small automation script
Yeah.
so that when you're done with the MSI deployment, it will log in using the credentials
Where is that
automatically.
MSI?
So that
Where is it?
That's by emailing
Request.
us only.
Okay, so it's
Yeah,
nowhere.
we don't
yeah,
put it
yeah.
out there because we don't want to confuse too many people with it. So
Okay.
I know a number of you guys have used it before. So
It's worth knowing about.
Yeah.
It's a large scale rollout.
Yeah, yeah, something we should actually just make a bit of noise about.
Yeah.
So they were the key things. Was the browser, the updated media, and the whiteboard, which is the third one. So this is the beginning as well. So we've taken draw out, which was more of a kids' stamps and everything, and we're trying to think of more of like a discussion canvas, if you like. So the first thing, let's do a discussion now on, I don't know, Brexit, for example. You can import files straight into this canvas. So we'll take one now, we're doing a search. So we've got an image there, we'll drag that up. So that's what the topic is about today. We're going to have different categories. We'll have the yes. So this text box, it's nice to use when you're taking notes as well in here. Yes, no, and the maybes. Let's drag up some sticky notes, and these are people in the different categories. So if you're seeing this now, you can visualize also, we use this in our development team on the screen where we can move along completed jobs to different categories. So brainstorming, Kanban, process, visualization. It's kind of the beginning with the sticky notes thing. So here you can move camps for sure. Yes, no, maybe. But the cool thing is you can also add in another canvas and continue this discussion. For example, so Johan, can you bring up a video on Brexit? Let's have a look in while this discussion's going on. So we can easily import that into the whiteboard. You're in the classroom now, the kids are watching this, you're having a discussion. Maybe some people change their minds. You might want to open up another canvas and
That's really good.
yeah, so it's ongoing kind of discussion canvas, and you can just take some basic notes or bring in something else. So that's something that we've had feedback from about just encouraging more talk in the classroom, a nice way to do it. So we thought we'll put it into the whiteboard. These features here will grow as you guys use it and feedback to us so we can make these changes.
Do you have this in the business as well?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Yeah. So again, great for meetings. You know.
Whiteboard. Yeah.
Sorry.
Probably worth mentioning now that, you know, as our distributors globally, we can also provide these guys with demo license codes.
As part of our agreement, yes. So all we need to do is go through Jack to me, and I can send them out to you. So
Because obviously a lot of these guys are distributors in their own right, so
Yeah.
they will sell to dealers in their respective countries. So those dealers will also need codes.
we've got enough codes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just making it.
Absolutely.
You know, if you've got 50 dealers that you're
Yeah.
dealing with, and you think,
We'll
no, if
give
I
you
can get
50
codes
codes.
to these,
Yeah.
then we're going to do that for you. And that's
Absolutely.
important to know.
Yeah. Whiteboard, media, browser, and notes are exactly the same in business as well. So if you use media in multi-teach, you can jump over to business, and it's exactly the same. It's just some of the default images in media are a bit different.
Aligned differently. While we're talking about nodes, let's just have a quick refresh of nodes. So we've had a lot of feedback. We've got a K-12 specialist working for us, and she loves the STEM projects, you know. And she's an avid fan of nodes. She thinks we should pull this out and actually have it as a separate product linked to a community page, that kind of thing. But what you have here is an easy way for the teacher to talk about something such as coastal beach erosion science. They can easily create the connections between the information they're putting in their own background, and it's just a really engaging way for the children. When they come up to the actual screen and they start interacting with us, they're connecting the knowledge, the content, they're learning it in a different way, multimodal they call it. And this here is, I firmly believe it's being underused. So one of our challenges is to really highlight using nodes, and one of them would be to create a community page section where teachers can share these nodes that they create for different science subjects, etc.
Can I ask you, first note that you opened, there was a PDF or something.
Yep.
You can't actually zoom that content, can you? Once it's opened up, that's as big as it gets.
Yeah, there's
Right?
at the moment, so what we're looking is going, you can full screen the image.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Once it's there, you can't get it any bigger than that. You can't zoom into it, can you? No.
For PDFs, if you really want the ability to zoom in, then we have in business, we have the PDF reader that has zoom, and you have a small window showing the entire document and where on the document you're zoomed in.
Because of course, if you want to read the resources, or the child wants to read the resources, I mean, I can.
Yeah, no,
it's just about making it.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So I found that to be, in terms of the use of it, I thought that's a little bit of a limit on it.
Yeah.
It's not quite readable.
Yeah, no, that's a
But
good
it's,
point. And
it's absolutely doable to have zoom in full screen.
See, that's the thing. We've got it in the other one. It could be easily put into this one. So
Yeah, makes sense.
good point. So yeah, nodes is very powerful way.
Yeah, that's pretty
You can
good.
zoom both the canvas.
Yeah, all the
And the
individual.
individual.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Also, if you're doing a pitch, you're out presenting, you get your company details in here. The background of your company's logo, you put in your products, your people, and you can have you're showcasing the technology of what you're trying to show your customers this. You know, it's a great tool for presentations. And if anyone needs any online help how to set this up, let us know. We can set up sessions. We've got videos online. But apps like this really are different to what's out there. They make the screen jump out, and your customers, are going to be seen in using higher technology, kind of in that kind of light. So,
Like anything else, each node can be linked to whatever media, whether it's whatever file, Word,
Exactly.
PDL,
Exactly, whatever we support. So it's PDF,
video
PowerPoint,
streaming?
video.
off the website maybe?
Video streaming, Johan, that's on the roadmap, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because a couple of people have actually brought that up, so.
There's so much out there.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you Google beach erosion, you might actually
Yeah.
find a video streaming
Yeah.
on YouTube to link
That's a good point.
You also have the. You could do like this.
Open up
okay.
browser.
You
Yeah.
take it like
Browser.
that and then, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Then you can get stuff
Sure.
bigger instead of
Sure.
having them in
You
small
can then
ones.
sell your
That's
customers from a
correct.
55 to an 84 screen.
So that they could
There you
do
go.
this.
So that they can do
You know
that.
what I mean? So you can do that. So yeah.
Very good.
So they're the key things. As I said, it's good to get hands-on. Come out to the Clever Touch Village out the back there. We're just going to finish up on showing the beta version of the Lessons Cloud. So the early beta. Okay. So I'll just get Johan to log that up. So the goal is to have it tied to licenses that are with the screen through Sahara. They'll be tied to that. We haven't worked out the full details yet on, how we're actually going to take it to the marketplace, but that's ongoing. But if you've worked with the Lessons app, you'll see it's going to have exactly the same look and feel as the multi-teach lessons. You run multi-touch capability in Chrome, Edge, Safari, iOS at the moment. The rest of the browsers, and they work with most of them as single touch. So that's something to keep in mind. So again, it's we've still got a lot of kind of graphical work to do, but this is the early version of the card activity within multi-teach lessons. So the idea is the teachers at home doing this, and they'll send out homework to the kids at home on their devices. They complete the activities, a report sent back to the teacher. That's one scenario that we'll get to. The second scenario is the teacher can create a lesson and deploy it in the classroom in real time, and there'll be a competition to who can answer it first. So that's the other scenario. So yeah, obviously very basic. You can bring in, your images, etc. But for at the moment, we just wanted to get something to show you here today. By end of January, this thing will be, humming. Yeah. Can you guys see this as beneficial? You're connecting the devices with the screen. So it's another thing if you're up against, other competitors. Now you can talk about this. And again, feedback. That's what we need from you. Since we launched multi-teach, we've done 14 versions. I think we've done 150 items of changes, and half of them have been from you guys saying, can you do this, can you do that? So we need to keep that going. So.
Yeah, is there any languages that we know that it's not in yet? People might need
A lot of we work through them.
Yeah.
So and a lot of your customers have really been helping us with that. So, we've got Charmex doing the Spanish, Italian. We've got, so it's all coming.
One thing that you will need on here.
What's that?
I see it straight away. You need the hotspot that you can actually link out by clicking on any one of those. So for example, if you take the cat, click on the photograph of the cat and create a link to it. That link can be anything. It could be Wikipedia, it could be a PowerPoint, it could be anything. It's an extra resource.
Yeah.
So when you're doing the test, this is a test for the kids.
Yeah, it is. It's reinforcing the learning. Isn't it?
Reinforcing the link, you say, right, now
Mm.
you can see the resources of
Yeah.
where it is.
Another great point.
Just put a link in there.
Yeah.
You can link out to any external resource.
The interface is very much primary school oriented. Don't you see this as being targetable to any age group?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. If you've got nodes, you can do that. You can make a
The
really.
whole feel
But
of it
also,
is-
if you look on the community page, there's some really some ones for high school in there. There's what do you call it, careers one,
Yeah.
where you've created 4 different activity types and zones where you're going around doing it. So This is kind of targeted K-12. With nodes, we're trying to open it up more to, you know, the older age group. So.
Just because when you open up Snowflake,
Oh yeah.
I think it's because that's
maybe
that's
one
how
day there
it
won't be
started.
any of
You
those
know,
other
there are
ones. It
these
might
little
just be
primary
lessons, you
school
know. So.
apps and things that are, you
That's
know,
the kind of
numbers,
heritage of it,
ladybirds,
yeah.
the whatever. So it very much feels that it's targeted towards the primary
Yeah.
school, but you've got so much more in it now that.
I think one of the future things we're looking at doing, and we just we prioritised this, was teachers could create their lessons, and when you go back to the main screen, their lessons are the icons.
Oh, okay.
So they can, boom, boom. So the lessons they download, they create, would be their icons on the main screen. So then you're kind of moving away from that, yeah. But we thought this was more important.
Yeah. The configurator, has that gone out the window now?
No, still there.
That's more difficult to manage though. Your average.
Yeah, that's why
At
we're
least
trying to
isn't
get
it for your
people
own
away
team,
from it, you know,
yeah,
and having
exactly.
that front end thing like in media and nodes where you can manage it yourself.
So is
bring
it
in-
still necessary? I mean, would a teacher have any need now to get into the configurator, or
Well,
what would
most of them don't, to be honest with you. Some schools might want to have their background as a background image on the screen, and they just change it out, like a logo or something. So, yeah. Is there any more questions, guys? Anyone? Like, we'll be over in that hall.
Yeah,
so
you've got a screen at the end, haven't you? Anyway, so
Yeah,
anybody
yeah.
wants to come along and play.
come and pick our brains, and you know, great. And we know that each each market's different that you guys operate in as well. So, you know, we're here to try and accommodate for the different things that you've got. So,
Cheers,
thanks a
guys.
lot.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.